Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, April 19th, 2023. Today we'll recap yesterday's NBA Stanley Cup playoff games, look ahead to tonight's playoff games in each sport: baseball, soccer, golf, reality TV, my latest NFL mock draft, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start the NBA playoffs. 3 games last night, and I believe there are 3 tonight as well. We'll go over the results and look ahead to today's games. Cavs beat the Knicks 107-90 to even up the series at 1. Much needed game for the Cavs. Darius Garland 32 points and Julius Randle had 22 and 8 boards for New York. Celtics over the Hawks 119-106 to take a 2-0 series lead. Jason Tatum 29 points, 10 boards. DeJounte Murray 29.6 assists. Suns over the Clippers 123-109 to even up the series at 2 apiece. Devin Booker, 38 points and 9 assists. Kawhi Leonard, 31 points, 8 boards, 7 assists. He was magnificent, but the Suns were just all around better. 3 games tonight, 7:30 on TNT. You have the Lakers and the Grizzlies. I project Pick'em in 231 and 17/20, and that is my projection without Ja Morant. With Ja, be 5.5, but I don't think Ja's going to play. It is Lakers by 1, total 227. I'll take the over, even with Ja potentially out. I think that the rest of the Grizzly offense can step up. And I've seen them win playoff games without Ja before. Like, they destroyed the Warriors last year in the playoffs without Ja Morant. And the Warriors won the title last year. So, and obviously the Warriors last year are better than this Lakers team. So, I want to rule out Memphis here. There's a reason why it's only 1 without Ja Morant. I'm going to take the over for my pick, though. I think Grizzlies even it up tonight. Heat Bucks on NBA TV at 9 o'clock. My line is Bucks 2.5, total 224 and 17/20. With Giannis, I make it 9, and it's 6.5 and 219.5. The pick's the over. Even though with the possibility of no Giannis, I think Middleton needs to step up, and obviously Drew Holiday needs to step up, and then the Heat guys, I think, will show up and out too. Although I do like the Heat against the spread a little bit without Giannis potentially. But podcast pick over. And then last but not least, 10 o'clock TNT Timberwolves Nuggets. I make the Nuggets 9.5, total 229 and a fifth. And it's 8.5 and 223.5. I love the over here too. I think Jokic is going to play. I think that both teams will hit a lot of threes. So I'm going to go 3 overs. And I don't know who the broadcasters are going to be for each game. If I had to guess, I'm going to say Kevin Harlan and Reggie for Lakers Grizz. Brian Anderson and SVG for Wolves Nuggets potentially. Or will they go with Iron Eagle with the Brooklyn Nets not playing tonight? Maybe Iron Eagle gets Timberwolves Nuggets. I could see that. But game 1 was Gus Johnson, so maybe it'll be Gus Johnson. Lakers Grizz, I think, is going to be Kevin and Reggie. Timberwolves Nuggets, I'm going to say it's Gus. And then NBA TV, Heat Bucks. I know Matt Weiner did Hawks Celtics last night. But I'm going to guess maybe Spiro Ditas for Heat Bucks. Because didn't Spiro did a game on TNT recently. Was it Nets Sixers game 1? I think it was that one. Or did he do Heat Bucks game 1? Heat Bucks was Harlan and Reggie. But we'll see with the broadcasters tonight. That's always like a fun subplot to follow, especially in the postseason. All right, now move on to hockey. We'll go over the results from yesterday. Look ahead to everything tonight. Rangers over the Devils 5-1 to win game 1. Number 3 started the game with 4 assists. Adam Fox. Number 2 started the game with 27 saves on 28 shots. Igor Shesterkin. Number 1 started the game with 2 goals. Chris Kreider, who's now the all-time Rangers goal scorer in postseason play, and he has the most power play goals in Rangers postseason history as well. So congrats to Chris Kreider a franchise history making night for him. Lightning over to Maple Leafs 7-3 to take a 1-0 series lead. Number 3 started game with a goal and 2 assists, Nikita Kucherov. Number 2 started game with 2 goals, Braden Point. Number 1 started game with a goal and 2 assists, Corey Perry. Jets over to Golden Knights 5-1 to take a 1-0 series lead. Best bet wins. Number 3 started game with a lone goal for Vegas, William Karlsson. Number 2 started game with a goal, Kyle Connor. Number 1 started game with a goal and an assist, Pierre-Luc Dubois. Kraken upset the Avalanche 3-1 to take a 1-0 series lead. Number 3 started game with a goal, the first goal in Seattle Kraken history, Eli Tolvanen. Number 2 started game with 34 saves on 35 shots, Philip Grubauer back in Colorado. And the number 1 started game with a goal and an assist, Alex Wenberg. So a great night for the Kraken. 4 games tonight, 7 o'clock, ESPN 2, Islanders, Hurricanes, Game 2. I would assume it's going to be Mike Monaco on the call of this game again with Ryan Callahan, maybe. The Canes are minus 170, Isles are plus 140, over under 5.5, overs plus 118, unders minus 144. Isles plus 1.5 is minus 182, Canes minus 1.5 is plus 150. I think the Islanders will perform better. I do. I'm going to go over 2.5 goals for the Islanders plus 112. I don't know if they'll win, but I think they'll perform better offensively than they did in Game 1. ESPN 7:30, Panthers, Bruins, Sean McDonough, Ray Ferraro probably on the call. So they go back and forth between Toronto and Boston. Bruins minus 245, Florida plus 198, over under 6.5, overs plus 108, unders minus 132. Panthers plus 1.5 is minus 126, Bruins minus 1.5 is plus 105. I love the over in that game. 9:30, ESPN 2, Wild Stars, Bob Wischusen and Brian Boucher probably on the call. Stars minus 154, Wild plus 128, over under 5.5, overs plus 104, unders minus 128. Wild plus 1.5 is minus 200, Stars minus 1.5 is plus 164. A really good win for Minnesota in Game 1. I think they take a step back a little offensively in Game 2, but under 2.5 at minus 122 is overpriced. So this is a hard one. I'm going to go with a ballsy pick. Stars in regulation at even money. 10 o'clock, ESPN, Kings, Oilers. John Buchacross and Kevin Weeks, maybe. I know Kevin Weeks had a game last night, but he did it with Roxy Bernstein. I think this is going to be John Buchacross with Kevin Weeks and Linda Cohn. Oilers minus 220, Kings plus 180, over under 6.5, overs minus 108, unders minus 114. Kings plus 1.5 is minus 142, Oilers minus 1.5 is plus 118. The Kings came back and won Game 1 the other day, and that pretty much won me best bet. So for this one, I'm going to go with the same pick, over 6.5 at minus 108. All right, now move on to baseball. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to today's games. All righty. Tigers over the Guardians 4-3 in Game 1. Doubleheader. Game 1 doubleheader. Phils over the White Sox 7-4. Doubleheader. Game 2, Tigers over the Guardians 1-0. So the Tigers sweep the doubleheader. Marlins over the Giants 4-2. Rays over the Reds 10-0. Angels over the Yanks 5-2. Orioles over the Nats 1-0. Red Sox over the Twins 5-4-10 on a walk-off single by Alex Verdugo. Doubleheader. Game 2, White Sox over the Phillies 3-0. Rangers over the Royals 12-2. T-backs over the Cardinals 8-7. Blue Jays over the Astros 4-2. Pirates over the Rockies 5-3. Cubs over the A's 4-0. Brewers over the Mariners 6-5-11. Braves over the Padres 8-1. Dodgers over the Mets 5-0. All right, today's game's 12:30 of the Rays and the Reds. The Rays trying to avoid their second consecutive series loss. It's Drew Rasmussen and Levi Stout. Stout making his debut for the year. Rays minus 260, Reds plus 215, over under 10, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Rays minus 1F is minus 164, Reds plus 1F is plus 136. I like the under. I don't think the Rays are scoring 10 runs again, and that's a bet on Drew Rasmussen too. 1 o'clock, Guardians Tigers, Cal Quantrill and Spencer Turnbull. Guardians minus 136, Tigers plus 116, over under 8, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Guardians minus 1F is plus 115, Tigers plus 1F is minus 138. I like the over. Giants Marlins, Alex Cobb and Trevor Rogers. Giants minus 112, Marlins minus 104, over under 8, overs minus 102, and there's minus 120. Giants minus 1F is plus 146, Marlins plus 1F is minus 178. Alex Cobb's been really good this year. I'm going to take the Giants again at minus 112. If they don't win this one, I think they're in trouble. 5-12 is not where you want to be. 115 D-backs Cards, Madison Bumgarner and Jake Woodford. Cards minus 196, D-backs plus 164, over under 10, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. D-backs plus 1F is minus 132, Cardinals minus 1F is plus 102. Madison Bumgarner is the weak link on the Diamondbacks. There's no way to put it. So the fade Madison Bumgarner in the best way possible is to go over on the Cardinals' run. So over 5.5 runs, minus 114. Phillies White Sox at 2. Tyjon Walker and Mike Clevenger. Phillies minus 116, White Sox minus 102, over under 8.5. Overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Phillies minus 1F is plus 136. White Sox plus 1F is minus 164. I don't love the pick, but I'm going to take the White Sox at home at minus 102 to get a win that they need. Rangers Royals. Martin Perez, Brady Singer. Royals minus 112, Rangers minus 102, over under 9.5, minus 110 each way. Rangers minus 1F is plus 164. Royals plus 1F is minus 200. The fact that the Royals are favored here is crazy. Martin Perez looks like the same guy from last year. Texas is 11-6. The line's trying to tell you something, right? This is a Vegas nose game, and I'm going to hold my nose and take the Royals to win at minus 112. Mets Dodgers at 3. That's a great game. Max Scherzer and Noah Syndergaard. So, Noah Syndergaard against his former team. The Mets are favored, minus 126. Dodgers plus 108. Wow, when is the last time you've seen the Dodgers as a home underdog? Over under 8.5. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Mets minus 1.5 is plus 134. Dodgers plus 1.5 is minus 162. And also Scherzer against a former team. Scherzer was on the Dodgers for not even a half a year. And that was the year that the Dodgers, they lost in the division round that year. They traded for him and Trey Turner, and now neither of them are on the Dodgers. That is a trade that the Dodgers probably regret right now. But anyway, Max Scherzer's been a little disappointing to start the year for the Mets. So I don't know if the Dodgers are going to win the game, but I like over 4 runs at minus 104 for the Dodgers. Pirates Rockies. Johan Oviedo and Austin Gomber. Pirates minus 120, Rockies plus 102, over under 11. Overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Pirates minus 1.5 is plus 118. Rockies plus 1.5 is minus 142. Johan Oviedo has actually been solid this year for the Pirates. Can't go with the runs. Over on the runs, but I'm going to take the full game under at minus 102. 11's high. 6-4 Pirates win, and it's a winning bet. Cubs A's at 3:30. Justin Steele and a Mason Miller making his debut for Oakland. Cubs minus 156. Oakland plus 132. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Cubs minus 1.5 is plus 115. A's plus 1.5 is minus 138. For this one, Cubs over 4 runs, minus 114. 4 o'clock, Brewers Mariners. Eric Lauer and Marco Gonzalez. Mariners minus 134. Brewers plus 116. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Brewers plus 1.5 is minus 176. Mariners minus 1.5 is plus 146. The Brewers are an underdog again, but Eric Lauer's been bad this year. I'm going to go over 4.5 Mariner runs at plus 106. Braves Padres. Charlie Morton, Nick Martinez. Padres minus 102. Braves minus 116 over under 9. Overs minus 102 and there's minus 120. Braves minus 1.5 is plus 138. Padres plus 1.5 is minus 166. The Braves are 14-4 and rolling. They're the best team in baseball. The reason why I had the Rays 1 over them in my power rankings is because they started 13-0. But I'm regretting that by the second. I should have had the Braves there. And I'm going to take the minus 116 over a Padre team that looks overrated. 7 o'clock, Angels-Yankees. Griffin Canning, Johnny Brito. Yanks minus 134, Rangers plus 114. Over under 9, minus 110 each way. Angels plus 1.5 is minus 182. Yankees minus 1.5 is plus 150. Johnny Brito was really bad in his last start against the Twins. Griffin Canning, meanwhile, has been okay for the Angels. I don't know what to do. I'm going to go with the under, full game under. Don't feel good about it, though. Maybe I'm going to say Yankees win something like 6-1 or something like that. Bounce back Yankee offense day, but they're not going to go over by themselves. Orioles-Nats. We don't know who's going for Baltimore, and Mackenzie Gore's going for the Nats. The Orioles are minus 134. The Nats are plus 114. I'll take the Nats straight up. Mackenzie Gore's good. Twins-Red Sox. Joe Ryan, Corey Kluber. Twins minus 130. Red Sox plus 110. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 122. Unders even money. Twins minus 1.5 is plus 126. Red Sox plus 1.5 is minus 152. For this one, I'm going to go under 4 Red Sox runs minus 114. Joe Ryan's been decent so far this season. And then 8 o'clock, you have the Blue Jays and the Astros. Jose Barrios and Luis Garcia. Awful. It's a pick-em. Minus 108 each way. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. Jays minus 1.5 is plus 155. Astros plus 1.5 is minus 188. I'm going over 4 Astros runs minus 115. Jose Barrios has been an absolute joke this year so far for the Blue Jays. All right, now move on to soccer. Not much soccer to talk about. We'll go over everything and look ahead to everything going on today. We'll start with the Saudi Pro League. Al Hilal over Al Nasser, 2-0. UEFA, Real Madrid over Chelsea 2-0, and they advanced 4-0 on aggregate. And then Milan, Napoli 1-1 draw, but AC Milan advances 2-1 on aggregate. All right, today, 3 o'clock, you have Bayern and Man City. Man City leads 3-0 on aggregate, so Bayern under a lot of pressure to score 4 goals and to not let their opponent score. Bayern's plus 165, Man City plus 140, draw plus 280. I can see Bayern winning the game, but not advancing on aggregate. So I'm going to take them plus 165 to win, but they won't advance, if that makes any sense. They'll win like 2-1 or something like that. Inter Milan and Benfica. Inter Milan leads 2-0 on aggregate. They're plus 115, but Benfica's plus 250, draw plus 240. I'm going to go Inter Milan at plus 115. English League Championship. West Brom over Blackpool 2-0. Rotherham, Burnley 2-2 draw. Sheffield United over Bristol City 1-0. Wigan over Stoke 1-0. Sunderland, Huddersfield 1-1 draw. Birmingham over Millwall 1-0. Today, another 6 games, 2:45. We have Blackburn and Coventry. So Blackburn plus 135, Coventry's 2-1, draws plus 230. I'm gonna go with the draw plus 230. QPR and Norwich City. QPR plus 230, Norwich plus 110, draw plus 240. I'm gonna go with Norwich City at plus 110 on the road. Swansea and Preston. Swansea plus 115, Preston plus 230, draw plus 230. Swansea's been hot. I'm taking them plus 115. Watford, Cardiff. Watford's even money. Cardiff's 3-1, draws plus 220. I'm going to go with the draw plus 220. Don't feel good about it. 3 o'clock, you have Borough and Hull. Middlesbrough minus 270, Hull 6-1, the draws plus 360. I just think Middlesbrough is a lot better. I'm going to go under 2.5 goals at plus 124. And then Reading and Luton. Reading's plus 140. Luton's minus 145. The draw's plus 250. Luton's just a better team here. I'm going to go over 2.5 goals at plus 146. All right, so we have a friendly tonight, 10 o'clock on TBS. You have USA and Mexico. Should be very interesting. US is plus 135. Mexico is plus 210. Draws 2-1. Team USA is playing a lot better. I'm going to take them at home at plus 135. All right, Dutch League, 12:45. They have the go-ahead Eagles and RKC Waldwick. The go-ahead Eagles are home favorite minus 115. RKC's plus 270, draws plus 250. I'm going to go with the draw at plus 250. I don't really love how the go-ahead Eagles are playing right now. All right, the Women's Super League today, 2 o'clock, you have Brighton and Hove and Everton. I'm just going to quickly pull it up. I'm surprised I don't have the odds up here. And then 2:15, you have Man United and Arsenal. And then the Women's Soccer League Cup, the Challenge Cup, starts tonight. 7 o'clock, you have Orlando and North Carolina. North Carolina's a favorite at minus 150. Orlando plus 340. The draw plus 320. North Carolina's better. I like over 3.5 goals at plus 136. 7:30, you have Gotham and Washington. Gotham plus 240. Washington plus 110. Draw plus 240. Is this being played at Red Bull Arena? Yes, it is. I'm going to go with the draw on this one at plus 240. Houston and Kansas City. Houston minus 130. KC plus 330. Draw plus 270. I'm going to go with Houston, the win. I'm going to go under 2.5 goals at plus 108. 10 o'clock, you have San Diego and Portland. Portland minus 105. San Diego plus 250. Draw plus 270. I'm going to go ahead with Portland at minus 105. And then Angel City and OL Reign. Angel City plus 260, Reign plus 110, the draws plus 220. I'm going to go with Seattle on the road at plus 110. All right, and that's really it for soccer. Now move on to golf. We have a new tournament this week. It's a partners tournament. And it is the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. All right, the teams. I'm going to go over them, and then I'm going to make a pick. Xander Schauffele and Patrick Cantlay, Colin Morikawa, Max Homa, Billy Horschel, Sam Burns, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Alex Fitzpatrick, Siwoo Kim, Tom Kim, Steve Thiglia, Justin Sue, Zach Johnson, Steve Stricker, Luke Donald, Eduardo Molinari, Tom Ho, Gary English, Nick Taylor, Adam Hadwin, Joel Dahman, Denny McCarthy, Ben Taylor, Callum Tarrant, Kurt Katayama, Taylor Montgomery, Sanjay M, Keith Mitchell, Andrew Landry, Austin Cook, Taylor Moore, Matt Neesmith, JJ Spawn, Hayden Buckley, Michael Thompson, Parrish Amin, Brendan Time, Patton Gazier, Ryan Brand, Mark Hubbard, Tyler Duncan, Hank Lebioda, Jim Herman, Ryan or Moore, Luke Bliss, Henrik Norlander, Trey Molinak, Scott Stallings, Robert Sturb, Trey Merritt, Eric Van Rooyen, MJ Dauphe, Dylan Fratelli, Matthias Schmid, Matt Wallace and Colin Shinkwin, Richie Wierenski, Scott Brown, Jason Duffner, Kevin Chappell, Jimmy Walker, D.A. Points, Jorn Olison and Nikolai Hojard, John Daly, David Duvall, Sam Saunders, Eric Cole, Victor Perez, Thomas Dietrich, Ryan Palmer, Scott Piercy, Davis Riley, Nick Hardy, Taylor Pendrith, Michael Giljick, Wyndham Clark and B.O. Hostler, Lee Hodges, Robbie Shelton, Brendan Wu, Joseph Bramlett, Russell Knox, Brian Stewart, Nick Watney, Charlie Hoffman, Doug Gim, Kremer Hickok, Kevin Twite, Kelly Kraft, Austin Sputher and Harry Higgs, Ben Griffin, Ryan Gerard, Davis Thompson, Will Gordon, David Ligmerth, Jonas Blix, Michael Kim and Sangil No, Austin Eckroat and Scott Harrington, Davis Lipsky, Aaron Ray, Sam Ryder, Doc Redmond, Grayson Sieg, Bryce Garnett, Max McGreevy, Sam Stevens, Chasen Hadley, Ben Martin, Matthias Schwab and Vincent Norman, Justin Lauer and Dylan Wu, Zach Blair and Zichung Du, Byung Hanan and Sungwoo Kim, Tyson Alexander, Kyle Yan, Harry Hall and Ashkay Bahita, Harrison Endicott and Aaron Battley, Austin Eckroat, Scott Harrington, Brent Grant, Kevin Roy, Paul Haley II and Cody Gribble, Carson Young and Kyle Westmoreland, Tano Goya and Trevor Werblow, Augusto Nunez and Fabian Gomez, Brandon Matthews, Sean O'Hare, Chad Ramey, Matt Trainer, Trevor Cohen, Andrew Novak, Chad Collins and DJ Tran, Cam Piercy, Greg Chalmers, Bill Haas, Jonathan Bird, Chris Stroud and William McGirt, Ricky Barnes, Kyle Stanley, Wesley Bryan, Grayson Murray, Jeff Oglivie, Kevin Stradler, Sung Kang and Sangmo Bay, and Derek Ernst and Robert Garrigus. I want to pick a team or a pairing with value. You guys all know how I feel about value. I mean, the favorites obviously Schauffele and Cantlay. But there's no value on it. They feel like a lock to win. And the Fitzpatricks, I don't think, are the 36-1, but he won last week. And I always like to go with somebody that has some value and I think has a possible chance of winning. So I thought about a pairing that I think has some value. They came in third last year, and they're 70-1. I'm going to place a fifth of a unit on it. Sam Ryder and Doc Redmond. They're 70-1. I'm laying a fifth of a unit on it. Ryder, Redmond, let's go. That would be a big hit if I'm able to nail that one. All right, now the Masked Singer. It'll get underway on Fox at 8 o'clock tonight. should be a super fun and entertaining show. As always, last week was Masked Singer in Space. So Dandelion. There was an angel, there's an apple, a wonton dog. So there's a lot of hints related to Dorothy. And then there was a Santa hat with the laughing emoji. And this performer performed Starlight by Muse. The celebrity clue was a space star. Theme is perfect experience with space. Lamp went next. There was white chairs, a seatbelt, a picture of Nicole, so there's a tie there. Talks about working with Ryan Reynolds and Mario Lopez. There was an energy drink, a yearbook. 90s, started young, and she performed Venus by Bananarama. And the celebrity clue was a cover girl, Maxime. And then last but not least was UFO. There was old school news with the mic, like an old school news channel. The cemetery. There's a flag that says "I love it." A sewing machine, the Golden Gate Bridge. And then this person performed "Yellow" by Coldplay. And then coming out, the celebrity clue was Mike Massimino, and talks about how this person is famous planet-wide. And the first to go home was Dandelion. I thought Dandelion took a major step back from its performance on movie night. My guess for Dandelion was actress Emily Osment. Just a lot of celebrity clues, and it was obvious that this was an actress who can sing. Jenny guessed Mila Jovovich. Ken guessed Alicia Witt. Robin said Sarah Bareilles. And Nicole said Zoe Deschanel. And it was Alicia Witt. Congrats to Ken Jeong. Second time right this season. So good for Ken. And I did not think he had this one. I thought potentially Nicole or Jenny was going to be right. I did not think Robin was right at all. I would have been surprised if Robin was right. But I'm surprised that Ken was right. Good for Ken. And in Battle Royale was Lamp against UFO, and the song was appropriately for space, Rocket Man by Elton John. Lamp went first, UFO went second. And who advances to the corners? UFO. So it'll be UFO, Macaw, the California roll, and then whoever comes out of tonight's episode will be in the quarters. So Lamp went home. My guess for Lamp was singer Christina Milian. Because there were some cheerleading clues I thought about Bring It On, and she was in that movie, if I'm not mistaken. Robin, Nicole, and Jenny all guessed former Sabrina and the Teenage Witch star Melissa Joan Hart. Ken said Michelle Williams. But I feel like she was already on the show, wasn't she? Wasn't she the butterfly in season 2? Why? I don't get why Ken and sometimes even Jenny are guessing people who were already on the show. And then it was Melissa Joan Hart. The three of them were right. So everybody was right in this episode, which is kind of cool. So Melissa Joan Hart from Sabrina and the Teenage Witch. It's fun seeing actresses that were on old shows on the show. All right, so tonight's episode is the saves. So obviously Robin rang the bell for Mantis. So it'll be Mantis, Gargoyle, and Medusa. My guess to move on to the quarters with Callie Roll, Macaw, and UFO, I'm going to say Medusa. I think she was the best singer on the show, period, end of story, this whole season. And it was surprising that she was on the verge of taking her mask off. So before I move on to Survivor, I'm going to give out some brief clues, and then I'm going to give out a guess before tonight's episode. All right, so Medusa said she sold that she's been in a Super Bowl. She's been on The Masked Singer. I wonder if somebody sang her song or something. Maybe she was a celebrity guest judge or something. Buckingham Palace, True Love. She has a connection with Chris Martin of Coldplay. There were colored trees. One of the celebrity clues was a bridge and lights. There were candles. And my guess for Medusa as of right now is none other than Fergie. I mean, bridge and lights, London Bridge, and then obviously Buckingham Palace. Which is in London. She sings London Bridge. She's been in a Super Bowl at the halftime show. A couple of her songs have been sang on the show. There's talks of, she was talking about 340 million sold, great list of places. That was a celeb clue. Plane ticket, first class, glamorous. I mean, how is this not Fergie? I'd be surprised if it wasn't her. I just would be surprised if it wasn't her at this point. And then Gargoyle, we only saw in one episode. And Gargoyle almost got unmasked. Jenny rang the bell. There was an I Love LA jukebox stuck on a sideline, so that's an athlete hint. A video game with remote. A brown card with 3 S's on it. Passed on the past 2. Hot sauce and fire, there was a gate. And then Celebrity Clue was rock solid, record maker, making waves on the field and making history. And I actually feel better about this than I feel about the Fergie pick. This is none other than former New York Giants wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. He made history as a rookie. A brown card. He was on the Browns. 3 S's. He was on 3 teams. I Love LA. He was on the Rams, won the Super Bowl at the Rams. How? And stuck on the sideline. He got hurt in the Super Bowl and was stuck on the sideline. And I feel bad because he scored the touchdown in the Super Bowl, then he got hurt. So this is none other than Odell Beckham Jr. And in Mantis, we only saw in one episode. There's a city, a plane, almost won an Emmy. There's Shakespeare Dancing with Wolves. There are cards, poker chips. Celeb Clue was glasses with a tag true story. And it played somebody in the movie that was a legend. From a personality standpoint, I was getting the vibes of Neil Patrick Harris. This is the one I feel the least confident about. I'll be okay if I'm wrong with this one. I'd be low-key disappointed if Gargoyle's not Odell. Because how is it not Odell? I mean, and then I think I'm onto it with Fergie, with Medusa. I'd be surprised if it's not her at this point. And then Neil Patrick Harris is going to be my guest for Mantis. I'm just getting comedy and poker, so that's Vegas clues. So, and then Broadway, he's been on Broadway. So I'm going to go with Neil Patrick Harris for Mantis. And I'm going to say Medusa moves on to quarters. All right, now Survivor. Last week was an interesting episode, to say the least. So Vava is the name of the merged tribe. Jam Jam made it up for the Fijian meeting of 44. And then Brandon tells Matt that the birdcage had a real and a fake idol, leading Matt to believe that the one he had was fake and that Danny had set him up at Soka. And then Immunity Challenge was divided into 2 teams of 5 by random draw. And then one person getting to pick the team, who happened to be Carson. They stood on a narrow platform while balancing a ball at the end of a long pole. At regular intervals, they would move on to narrow parts on the beam, making it harder to balance. And if a player dropped their ball or stepped off the platform, they're done from the challenge. And the longest lasting person from each team won immunity, with the longest person standing overall winning a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a reward for their team, as well as group immunity, letting that group spectate the upcoming tribal council while not voting. And then Franny outlasted Brandon to win immunity for herself, Carolyn, Danny, Heidi, and Kane. And Carson also won due to correctly predicting the winning team after drawing the odd rock. Brandon also won immunity as the last one standing from his team. And then the losing team was exiled to Soka's Beach, where Matt felt vulnerable due to leaving his bag at the merge camp. And then the Ratu majority of Brandon, Jamie, and Lauren were in control, leaving Jam Jam and Matt to plead their cases. And the winning team received a note saying a new advantage was hidden in the birdcage with several keys scattered around the jungle. Heidi found the right one, leading her to a control vote advantage, and she would pick someone at upcoming tribal and direct them to cast a vote for whoever she wanted. And at tribal, Heidi used her advantage to have Lauren vote against Jam Jam. And then Lauren asked Jeff that Lauren's extra vote would be her own to cast if she chose to play it. And she chose to keep it, which was interesting, as Lauren was directed to vote Jam Jam, and then Matt voted for Jam Jam. So that tells me the fact that Lauren didn't use her vote made me think that she was either confident that Matt was going to get sent home, or she was confident or maybe she felt that she didn't need her extra vote and she wanted to save it. So she had to vote for Jam Jam. Matt voted Jam Jam. Jam Jam voted Matt, as did Jamie and Brandon, sending Matt to the jury. It was a sad scene. Franny was crying, obviously. Now they broke up the romance that they had going on the show, which was very cute. So best move of the episode, I'm gonna say, was Lauren not using her extra vote. Because it maybe if she wanted Jam Jam out, or if she used it maybe it wouldn't have mattered. So good on Lauren for not using her extra vote. Worst move of the show, I'm going to say, was Matt obviously leaving his bag behind at the merge, or else he could have played his shot in the dark, or even Franny not grabbing Matt's bag. But Franny, oh wait, they went back to the merch camp, but maybe she felt confident that Matt was going to be safe. So bad move on both of their ends, but really Matt's, because you should be responsible to carrying around your things. So Matt leaving his bag behind was the worst move of the episode, because that, who knows, that probably cost him a chance to stay alive, and then would have potentially sent Jam Jam home. Favorite part of the episode, I'm going to say, was Heidi finding the advantage. And that was just pretty cool, and just love to see these different advantages that come out of nowhere and could control the game. But it turned out that it didn't work because Jam Jam was not sent home. But that was just cool anyway. Worst part of the episode was seeing Matt go and seeing him crying and Franny crying. And Franny's really grown on me as a player. I think she's really emerged as a threat in this game. So it was hard to see her emotional after her bestie left. At least he's on the jury, so she'll see him in tribals. So, winner pick right now, I'm going to say Danny, but I'm nervous because, although Matt got sent home, but I think it was, maybe Brandon heard him say, that it was Danny that has the idol, so maybe Brandon's aware of that, but that does make me a little nervous for a potential blindside down the road. And next to go, I have a feeling it's going to be somebody we don't expect. Because you always expect the unexpected on Survivor. It felt kind of obvious that Matt was going to be sent home at some point. It just happened to be this episode. So, I honestly think it might be Heidi. Just a gut feeling I have. And I like Heidi. She's a good player. And I could just picture somebody like her going home unexpectedly. So I'm going to say Heidi. Just throw a curveball like I did with when I picked Carson to go home last week. But it just didn't work out because he picked the winning team. And then, so it should be an interesting episode coming up. Oh, and then pick the win individual immunity. I think Franny's going to be safe for this episode. I know she'll be a popular pick to get sent home because she's alone in terms of having an alliance. But I think she's somebody that can pick up easily and find other people. But I'm going to say the winner of immunity. And this person really has emerged too. I'm going to say Carolyn wins individual immunity. Just a gut feeling. I have no inside information, I promise. I mean, who does? Survivor does a great job preventing leaks. So, I'm going to say Carolyn wins individual immunity. All right, now I'm going to do my latest mock draft. I'm going to try to be quick on this one. All right, number 1, the Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young, quarterback, Alabama, from the Chicago Bears. Now it feels like it's a no-brainer that they're taking Bryce. He canceled all of his meetings with the remainder of the team, so it looks like it's Bryce for number 1 come next Thursday. Number 2, the Houston Texans, C.J. Stroud, quarterback, Ohio State. The Texans get the second best option in terms of quarterback prospects. Stroud, I think, is intriguing. Really good in the pro day. There was smoke about the Panthers taking him at 1, but I think that's over. Number 3, the Arizona Cardinals, Will Anderson, edge, Alabama. The Cards get themselves a slam dunk pick here at Anderson, who's arguably the best guy in the whole draft. With J.J. Watt retired, the Cards have a need in their pass rush, and they get themselves a stud. They'll give them stability at the position. Number 4, the Indianapolis Colts, Anthony Richardson, quarterback, Florida. Richardson has been heavily linked to the Colts, and it's no secret that the Colts are looking for yet another quarterback. Richardson showed flashes this past year at Florida and stands a strong pro day. I'm not sold that he'll have the same success at the next level as Young or Stroud. 5, the Seattle Seahawks from the Denver Broncos. Tyree Wilson, edge, Texas Tech. Wilson is someone whose stock is rising with the draft coming in 2 weeks. The Seahawks go with Wilson over Jalen Carter due to Wilson's explosiveness on the edge, which the team has lacked, and Carter's off-field issues. Number 6, the Detroit Lions from the Los Angeles Rams. Jalen Carter, defensive tackle, Georgia. A player that was thought to be the first overall pick in the window has fallen to 6 would be a massive deal and a steal for the Lions. Carter is strong comps to Aaron Donald due to being a dominant disruptor up front. 7, Las Vegas Raiders. Devin Witherspoon, cornerback, Illinois. There were rumors about the Raiders going with the quarterback or even trading back, but here I have them addressing a need in corner. Witherspoon is super polished and super tough, but there are questions about his frame. 8, the Atlanta Hawks. Nolan Smith, edge, Georgia. Smith has been getting a lot of buzz in terms of possible selections here. Smith is an absolute athletic freak. He dominated the combine, which really skyrocketed his stock. 9, the Chicago Bears from the Carolina Panthers. Paris Johnson, offensive tackle, Ohio State. The Bears trading down will benefit the franchise from an asset standpoint in the long run. Here they address an important need on the line with Johnson, who is arguably the best left tackle in the class due to his ability to block and the power he provides. 10, the Philadelphia Eagles from the New Orleans Saints. Lucas Van Ness, edge, Iowa. It's rare to see a Super Bowl team pick in the top 10 in the draft, but here we are. Van Ness is in the top 10 seems like a reach, but his stock is rising with a week and a half to go until the draft. Van Ness is raw, didn't start in college, and coming to the Eagles will benefit him due to the veterans that can mentor him. 11, the Tennessee Titans. Will Levis, quarterback, Kentucky. The Titans are a complete unknown when it comes to the draft, as they are front and center of rumors in terms of who is likely to trade up. So they say at 11, Levis drops to them. They take him. Not a good year for Levis, but he does have potential. 12, the Houston Texans from the Cleveland Browns. Jackson Smith-Njigba, wide receiver, Ohio State. The Texans did a great job in the Deshaun Watson trade, and it could change their franchise for the better. The Texans need youth everywhere, and it would be fun for Stroud and Smith-Njigba to be reunited in the pros. 13, the New York Jets. Broderick Jones, offensive tackle, Georgia. It would be surprising if a tackle isn't the pick here unless the pick is moved for Aaron Rodgers. Jones has a great history against strong SEC offensive lines, which bodes well for the Jets, who badly need a tackle. 14, the New England Patriots. Christian Gonzalez, cornerback, Oregon. If Gonzalez falls this far, I do not see Bill Belichick passing up the opportunity to get a future CB1. Gonzalez has the size and strength to be successful, but his run support needs improvement. 15, the Green Bay Packers. Peter Skoronski, offensive tackle, Northwestern. This would be a great selection for the Packers, who is starting a rebuild. Skoronski is a perfect plug-and-play player who will help protect Jordan Love. 16, the Washington Commanders. Joey Porter, cornerback, Penn State. The Commanders were a possible dark horse to trade up for a quarterback, but I don't see it. Porter is a very physical player and would fit nicely in today's league, but he gets very handsy at points. 17, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Deonte Banks, cornerback, Maryland. It would be somewhat surprising if the Steelers pick isn't a tackle or a corner. Banks put together a really good season in college and is big and physical, who can match up against NFL receivers. 18, the Detroit Lions. Bijan Robinson, running back, Texas. This would be some selection for a Lions team that is poised to make a jump in the NFC North. Robinson is probably the best first-round running back since Saquon Barkley, and he would be a complete game changer for the Lions. 19, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Darnell Wright, offensive tackle, Tennessee. The Buccaneers are another team that's suddenly in a rebuild as well. Wright's stock rose after a strong Senior Bowl and the great season in Tennessee, as he could be picked in the first half of the first round. 20, the Seattle Seahawks. Myles Murphy, edge, Clemson. Murphy flying all the way down here would be a steal for the Seahawks. A hamstring injury is what could be a cause for the fall for Murphy, but he is fast and has the size to be an impactful pass rusher. 21, the Los Angeles Chargers. Zay Flowers, wide receiver, Boston College. It seems likely that the Chargers will take an offensive skill player of some sort here. Flowers had excellent production this past season and is an electric player to watch. 22, the Baltimore Ravens. Quentin Johnson, wide receiver, TCU. Whether Lamar is back or not, receiver is a major need for the Ravens, and that's with the addition of Odell Beckham Jr., who has not been healthy for a full season in over 5 years. Johnson had a big year at TCU, which increased his stock, and his hands and roots are excellent. 23, the Minnesota Vikings, Jordan Addison, wide receiver, USC. The Vikings should really go with a defensive player here, but Addison would be a big add to their offense. They do have a need at position with Adam Thielen being released, and Addison can play both outside and in the slot. 24, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Brian Bresee, defensive tackle, Clemson. I personally feel that the Jags need to nail the pick because they are very close to contending. Brees had a few tough years on and off the field, but he is excellent at stopping the run, and his game could be improved on. 25, the New York Giants, Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback, Mississippi State. With arguably the 3 best receivers off the board, the Giants go with the corner and Forbes. He is an excellent in coverage and is super quick, which bodes well for the Giants since they have good offenses to face within their division. 26, the Dallas Cowboys, Michael Mayer, tight end, Notre Dame. This would be Jerry Jones and company's absolute dream scenario. Meyer's an absolute stud and has the ability to stretch the field. The thought of Meyer in the Cowboys' offense is scary. 27, the Buffalo Bills, Drew Sanders, linebacker, Arkansas. The Bills do not have any obvious needs, but linebacker here would be wise with the loss of Tremaine Edmonds. Sanders is coming off a big season in college, and his versatility is what can get him drafted in the first round. 28, the Cincinnati Bengals, Darnell Washington, tight end, Georgia. The Bengals can go in any direction they'd like to, and Washington here does make some sense. The team did sign Irv Smith Jr., but he's coming off a big injury, and Washington here would be fun as he's a good blocker too. 29, New Orleans Saints from the San Francisco 49ers via the Miami Dolphins and Denver Broncos. Khalija Cansey, defensive tackle, Pitt. It'd be surprising if the Saints go with the pass rusher here. Cansey is undersized but has a high motor and has shown to be consistent at pressuring. 30, the Philadelphia Eagles. Brian Branch, safety, Alabama. The Eagles, with their second first rounder, have going with the draft's best safety in Branch. He excels off the edge, he tackles well, and is solid in coverage. 31, the Kansas City Chiefs. Will McDonald IV, edge, Iowa State. McDonald is a hot name that could end up going late in the first round. He is a super explosive player with a high ceiling, and the Chiefs can use a player like him in their pass rush. All right, so there you have it for the latest mock. Now I'll move on to the news and notes for today. The big news of the day is that last night news broke that Draymond Green suspended for Game 3 against the Kings after stepping on Domantas Sabonis. Wow. I did not think the league was going to suspend him. A lot of people are saying he shouldn't have been suspended. But the weird thing was that Shams reported earlier in the day that Draymond will likely be fine but won't miss Game 3. That's very bad by Shams for missing that report. But the Warriors are going to have to pay the price. And, they can still win Game 3 without Draymond, but it's just crazy that they actually suspended him. And then Domantas Sabonis was reported has a sternum contusion as he's questionable for tomorrow night's game after the stomp. So if the Sabonis doesn't play, then I think the suspension's kind of fair. But I really am surprised that they suspended him. And then the NBA's executive VP says that Draymond's actions were excessive and over the top in addition to being a repeat offender. Okay. So that makes sense because he's a repeat offender. But like I said, I'm surprised that he actually got suspended. Usually Draymond tends to get away with some things. And the Warriors kind of need his defense, so maybe they can win Game 3 without him. But if Sabonis is out for Sacramento, that's a bigger loss for them than Draymond would be for the Warriors. So I would have waited to find out the severity of Sabonis before making a decision on Draymond. That's just me. And I'm not the biggest Draymond Green fan, as most of you know. All right, so the clutch award goes to De'Aaron Fox, who deserved the award, beating out DeMar DeRozan and Jimmy Butler. I'm really happy for De'Aaron Fox. So Russell Westbrook chirps in on the Suns reporter. He overheard the Suns reporter's confidence in the Suns, and he goes, "Good luck." You gotta love Russell Westbrook sometimes. So we talked about Giannis being doubtful tonight because of the back injury. I think they need him. Him getting hurt is the reason why they lost to the Heat. Or else they would have came back and won if he didn't get hurt. But what I would do is I would play him but limited minutes, and then you sit Middleton and Holiday and play Giannis with some of Bobby Portis and some of their bench dudes, and then you have Holiday and Middleton play with the second unit. That's what I would do if I'm the Bucks. They gotta win this game tonight. There's an immense amount of pressure on the Milwaukee Bucks because you don't want to be a 1 seed, potentially going down 0-2 to an 8 seed. And I understand the Heat's reputation and everything. And then Ja's status is still up in the air. I don't think he's going to play. And that's another team that needs the game. But I think, I got to be honest, Memphis without Ja I feel better about than Milwaukee without Giannis in a weird way. Weird way. Because they've proved it before. All right, so Jared Allen had that hard flagrant 1 foul at the end of the game as he knocked down Julius Randle. Randle says it was unnecessary, and Randle says, "We'll go back to the Garden and see him there." And it looks like he's going to play after that crazy fall that deserved the flagrant 1 foul. Andre Jackson plans to enter the draft while maintaining college eligibility, so that's interesting. So some football stuff. CJ Stroud visiting the Falcons, that's interesting. Panthers GM Scott Fitterer says team has not decided who will go number 1 amid the Bryce Young buzz. Team's calling the 49ers about Trey Lance. That's interesting. What kind of value does he have? So it looks like A-Rob, Allen Robinson, is getting traded from the Rams to the Steelers for a 7th-round pick and a $5 million in savings. That would be a big addition to the Steelers and Kenny Pickett in that offense. That's a steal. Even though the Rams threw in a 7th-round pick in the deal. I think that is an amazing trade pulled off by the Steelers. Von Miller says that DeAndre Hopkins wants to play in Buffalo. That would be wild if he ended up there. Jalen Hurts had minor ankle surgery as he had hardware in right ankle from 2018 as the 2018 procedure removed earlier this offseason. And then the best news of football, Damar Hamlin cleared to return to football activities after cardiac arrest in January. Leafs goalie Ilya Samsonov, "I played like shit today," he said that after they lost yesterday. Some baseball stuff. Carlos Carrasco to the 15-day injured list with right elbow inflammation. Yikes. The Mets and the Yankees, both teams, so many injuries. My goodness. And then the worst one obviously being Edwin Diaz, but because he's out for most of the year, if not all the year. But that is a brutal loss for the Mets. You have JV on the injured list. You have Scherzer not pitching well. Carrasco's on the injured list. Thank God for Kodai Senga and his great start if you're the Mets. Just another blow to the Mets. And it's not good at all. And then Yankees, Carlos Rodon is having tests on his back. And Aaron Boone says that his back is barking a little bit. My goodness. I mean, if Rodon doesn't pitch for most of the year, that could look like a bust contract. I mean, the Yankees didn't have to sign Rodon, but they did need like a above average second starter behind Garrett Cole. And he pitched like a number 1 the last 2 years on San Francisco. And everybody loved the signing. And now everybody's probably turning on Cashman because he signed yet another pitcher who's always injured. But hopefully we see him before the All-Star break. I mean, at this point, would you be shocked if Giancarlo Stanton's back before Carlos Rodon? No. Not at all. And then the Yankees are selling Shohei Ohtani jerseys, which is very interesting. I think they're just trying to make some money because of the reputation that Ohtani's built from like an international standpoint. I feel like a lot of teams are going to start to do that with Ohtani and the name he's made for himself. How about this? Dave Roberts says he may try Mookie Betts at shortstop after he returns from the paternity list. I think that's desperate times calling for desperate measures because shortstop is a black hole for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Like, this is like Isaiah Kiner Falefa bad for the Dodgers. Like, Miguel Rojas stinks. Like, he's probably a little bit better than IKF, but not that much better than IKF, but like I said, they're going to regret the Trey Turner thing. Baseball is testing new rules as a designated pinch runner among things that the league is trying to out in the Atlantic League. Rob Manfred says that limit contract length as he says owners want limits on player contracts. Tony Clark says union won't approve. That's very interesting. That's because of all these big names coming up for free agency like Shohei Ohtani and then down the road Juan Soto. Red Sox had a delayed walk-off celebration as there was some confusion on Verdugo's fly to win the game. And the funny thing is that Verdugo dropped a couple of F-bombs in the excitement after his walk-off. Really awful news for the Tampa Bay Rays. Jeffrey Springs, done for the year of Tommy John surgery. He led the majors with a .5 whip. Brutal for the Rays. Brutal. But they have the depth to overcome that one, I think. Although it is a big loss. Reds extend Hunter Green, 6 years, $53 million. Nice little contract extension for Hunter Green. All right, last but not least, best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. Best bet yesterday won with the over in the King, or not the Kings Oilers, the Vegas game against Winnipeg. I have a couple nominees for best bet. There's one that I liked, but the number went down. I liked the under in the Rays game against the Reds. But should I go back to the well with that over again in the Kings game? That'd be weird. The Blue Jays are now favored over the Astros, and it's Barrios on the bump. But the funny one And then the one I liked, Cardinals over runs, is overpriced now. But yeah, I don't like a lot of the baseball ones. But you know what? I'm just gonna go back to the well with Kings Oilers. The question is, am I going to do full or a half? I'm going to do a half unit on it because I don't feel super duper about it. So I'm going to go over 6.5 goals, Kings and Oilers, for the second time in 3 days for best bet. All right, that's it. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything, looking ahead to everything tomorrow. We may or may not have an activity. We shall see. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.